Okay. So we discussed a lot of things. One of the thing is about IP address. Okay. I'm not going to draw everything, so just we'll discuss point. IP address. IP address is a logical address. So every system required an IP address to communicate in the network. Okay. So IP address defines what logical network it is. Okay. You can have 100 systems, 200 systems in one single network physically. Physically systems are connected, but logically you can separate the devices with the IP address configurations. Okay. And the IP addresses can be changeable. You can assign an IP address, manually you can change an IP address, or you will get an IP address from a DHCP server. Okay. And we've seen how it is happen like that. It is DHCP part with your we can say Wi-Fi router part also with SIM for your batch. Okay. And in again, yeah, Suresh.
Yes, sir.
You raise your hand.
Sorry, sir. By mistake, it's helpless. Sorry.
Okay, okay. Okay. So again, we discussed about the IPv4 my mouse. So morning, it will do like that morning sickness. Okay, for my mouse. Okay, IPv4 and IPv6. IPv4 is 32-bit, IPv6 is 128-bit. It's a compulsory IPv4, IPv6 difference. Okay. IPv4 represented in decimal format, IPv6 represented in hexadecimal format. Okay. IPv4, the total 32-bit number is divided into 4 octets. IPv4 having 4 octets divided by or separated by dots. First octet, second octet, third octet, fourth octet. So totally 4 octets are there. Each octet means 8-bit number it is. Each octet having a 8-bit. That's why it is octet. Each octet range is 0 to 1 to 255. Okay. And whereas an IPv6 represented in hexadecimal format. It means there is a 32 hexa numbers are there. 32 hexa numbers are there. These are divided by 8 blocks. 8 blocks. Each block is getting 4 hexadecimal, 4 hexa numbers. 4 hexa numbers. Separated by columns. Separated by column. Okay. So these are the primary structure of IPv4 and IPv6. Again, IPv4, the range is 0.0.0.0 to 255.255.255.255. This is the total range of IPv4. And this entire range is divided into 5 classes: Class A, Class B, Class C, Class D, and Class C. Class A is a 0 to 127. Compulsory remember these ranges. 128 to 191, 192 to 223, 224 to 239, 240 to 255. Okay, 255. This is the complete range of all classes. And of course, we don't use class E because of some reservation, some certain specification purpose only they used it, not in a general public or a general way. We are not using, we can't assign it, we can't use it also. Class E also we can't assign it. It is used, it is a multicast address used by certain services only. And class A, class B, class C are a unicast address which we can able to assign to the devices from unicast address. Again, from this one also, the 0 series, we can't use it. And 127.0.0.1 is a loopback or local host address. 127 series also, we don't use it. So other than that one means 1 to 126 and 129 to 191, 192 to 223. These are all we can able to use it. Up to here, again, in IPv6, so it is not divided into the classes. IPv6 actually direct ranges are given for different purposes. For example, for public communication, global unicast address is given. I can't able to write with this mouse. See, it is breaking like line breaking. Line breaking. See, that's the problem sometimes. Okay. So yeah, it's a global unicast. Global unicast. Global unicast is it is like you can say /3 type /001 /3. It means start with a 200 series, okay, and up to 3 FFF model. Global unicast is a public IP addresses, so used for a public communication purpose. We'll see what is private and public in IPv4. There you will understand public and private IP. And there is a private range is also given. Separate private IP address is also given, like FC 00/7 kind of stuff. And link this private IP means you can use within the private intra network. You can use your own private IPv6 address without purchasing IPv6. Global unicast means public IP address, either IPv4 or IPv6. Public means paid version. Okay. As long as you use, you have to pay for the usage. Private is free, so you can use anytime, anywhere, okay, in your network. But it is not routable in a public. Public with the private, you can't communicate in a public. Like gmail.com, yahoomail.com, facebook.com, you can't access it. To access it, you need a public IP. Okay. Next one is link local. Link local is a more interesting IP address. It is FE80. FE80. It's a system self-generated FE80 series. It is system self-generated IP address. System is generating that IP addresses. Based on your adapter MAC address, system is generating that link local IP address. Non-routable. Non-routable in private, non-routable in public also. Okay. Of course, there is a multicast address. Okay. Multicast address is there. Anycast address is also there. Okay. Whereas like IPv6 directly ranges are given for a different services purpose. In IPv4, we do not have any direct ranges. We are dividing our entire range into 5 classes. Class D is used for multicast and class ABC for unicast. In that one, private IP is there, public IP address is also there. So we'll see that one next. Okay. And of course, we come back to this point again. And IPv4, we have a network and host portions are there. IP address, whether it is IPv4, IPv6, two parts of IP address. One is network, another is host part. Network represent which logical network this is belongs to it. Okay, like you have 100 computers. For out of 100, for 20 computers, I make it as a one single logical network. But how it will identify these 20 computers are belongs to a logical network depends upon their network portion of IP address. Okay, network part of IP address. Okay, host is individual identity. Network is same for everyone. and host is different for everyone. Okay, so how system will divide this? Understand this is a network part, this is host part. How system will understand using subnet mask. The default subnet mask for class A is 255.0.0.0. Default subnet mask for a class B is 255.255.0.0. Default subnet mask for a class C is 255.255.255.0. Okay, these are the subnet masks of a, and these things also you can represent with the slash notations. For example, 255.0.0 we can represent with a /8, and 255.255.0.0 you can represent with a /16. Okay, 255.255.255.0 is /24. Okay, so it is called a CIDR method, prefix. Sometimes when you are writing an IP address, you have to tell your subnet mask also. Some certain systems, not subnet mask, you have to give in the prefix type. So that time you have to give, instead of subnet mask, you have to give some prefix. And coming to the IPv6, there is no subnet mask, but it is represented with the prefixes. Okay, the network is represented with the prefix. Okay, prefix only, slash notations. Okay, /60 for example. Okay, yeah. Guys are okay? This part, quick review. Did you recollect any information or not? Hmm? Did you recollect any information, or anything you missed it, or anything I missed it? Don't worry about others will respond or not, guys. You respond yours only. Okay? You have a doubt, or you want a repetition, or maybe you want to add something to it. Put yourself. That is what it is. The training is, guys. So when you read it, you cannot speak it. You speak, then only you can able to speak. And keep on trying for your batch, other batch. Both batches are same status. Okay. That's why we are getting delayed. I'm getting myself doubt whether you understand or not. I'm again repeating. I can't take these classes, guys. Today, maybe I will talk to sir and maybe we'll try. Sir, give exercises. Do your exercises that your soft skills, that part in that time only. Maybe after class or before class or when you have a free time. Okay. I know it is, that is, you have a fear like maybe sir will scold you, but you have to listen to my class also. That is why, because of not for me, for you only. All are important things only I'm discussing. Okay, David. I'm not having energy today also to fight it. Okay, guys, see, look at here. This is my room, my office, my home or my office are like that. Okay, so I have a systems, whether wide way or a wireless I connected. Okay, I'm communicating each other within this network. I'm communicating each other. I have maybe like I have maybe some servers also there, like a database server is there, some web server is there, some application server is there. Okay, some storage servers also there. my office or in my home. Okay, so I have this environment. Okay, I have this environment in my place. Now think it. This is my intranet, my private network. So I can able to access from this system to this system or this system to this system. I can able to access it. So this is our intranet. This is our intranet. It's my private network. Okay. This is my private network. I can able to communicate within the private, right? Within the private. But when you want to get access from internet or you want to access resources from internet, then we need what we need to connect it to the public, right? For example, you want to access gmail.com. You want to access gmail.com. So you need a network. It is you need to be get connected through public. You have to connect it to internet. Then only you can able to access gmail.com. But to communicate in the public, you need a public IP address. To communicate in the public, what you need a public IP address. Okay, need a public IP address. Next, for example, you have a server. For example, this is your web server in your premises, and someone want to access your web server. Someone want to access your web server through internet. It means it is also required a public IP address. Public IP addresses are paid type, means you have to take from your ISP service provider. So how many public IP address you require, okay, and how long you are running with this public IP address, you have to pay for it, okay, for public access. But you don't want a public, you just want a internal private network only. It's not about a public one. First point, we'll see the private one. With the private IP, you can't communicate outside public IP. So private IP addresses are freely available. So as per IANA, okay, Internet Authority is there, INAA, Numbering Authority, ICANN. As per IANA, ICANN, what it is a actually IP address, which region, what IP address, okay, and what IP networks they have to use it, IPv4, IPv6. This entirely controlled by IANA, ICANN only. So they define what IP address, what range of IP address and all can be used. So these IANA, ICANN given certain IP addresses for private use only for private use. So those IP addresses are like this. From class A, of course, in IPv6 directly range is given for a private IP. But in IPv6, so we have a classes are there. From class A, class B, class C only. Because three are unique as address. Class A 10.0.0.0 to 10.255.255.255. So this is entirely a single class. So class A network portion is first portion is network portion. So it is see only one portion is there 10 to 10. Meaning is only one network is given. Of course, that one network is enough for a very large network. For example, you have your own private IP network. Okay. For example, in your organization, you have a 16 million devices are there. Okay. Not more than 16 million, 17 million is not working. Well, okay. On average, 16 million to less than 16 million devices are one private network is enough. 10 is enough. Okay. Right. In a class B, it's a class B, totally 16 IP addresses are given. This is the range of okay. So 170.16.0.2, 170.31.255.255. This is total range of IP addresses. Okay, these are all IP addresses belongs to private only. But it is not one single network. It is actually it is totally 16 networks are there. 170.16, 170.17, 170.18, 170.19, 170.20 like that. 170.31, 170.31 up to this network. It is okay. It is totally 16. Count yourself like a 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. Totally 16 networks are there for private use. Okay. For private use. 16 networks are given for a private use. In class C is only one host person. Okay. So 170, 192, 168, 255, 255. This is different from that A and B because this is 256 networks. It means 170.16.0. This is one network. Okay. 170, 192.168 dot 1 dot another network 192, 168 2 dot another network. Okay. Okay. So this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 up to 255. This is totally 256 networks are given. Okay. 256 networks are given for a private. Other than this, IP address and their ranges plus because that is also you should add it. So one more range is there that is called APIPA, automatic private IP address range is there. Okay, that is 169.254.0.0 to 169.254.255.255. Okay, so this class A, class B, class C, these private ranges plus APIPA range. And of course, we know the 0 series. and 127 series. Okay. This except this all remaining are private only. For example, you are using 11.0.0.0. Okay. Okay. This is a public again. 12 dot public again. 9 again public. Okay. 172 15 public. 172 32 public. Okay. 172 15 again public. 32 public. 16 to 31 private. 192 167 public. 167 public. 192 169 public again. 191 public. 192 public. Sorry, 193 public. Only this part only, 168 only it is. See, 192.168. This is only private part. Okay, private. Of course, this is a third octet. That is whatever it is can be. 172.68 means it's private. 172.69 public. 192 169 public. Okay, 192 167 public. 193 public. 191 public. Okay, 192.168 means private. 172.16 private. 170.17 private. 170.31 private. 170.32 public. 170.16 public. 171 public. 173 public. Okay. 10 private. 11 public. 9 public. Like that. Okay. Next one is APIPA. 169.254 private. 169.254. That's a private IP. 169.255 public. 169.253 public. Okay. So all these things, yeah, we can assign from 1, not a 0. So other one. 172, we can't use it. 128, okay. 190, 126 also, okay. 127, we don't use it. So other than all, it is like a public. So these private IP addresses non-routable in a public. Private IP address with a private IP, you can't communicate in the public. You want to communicate in the public, you need a public IP. To communicate within the private, you need a just private IP. Okay, just need a private IP to communicate within the your private network. For private IP address, you need to pay to anyone. No need to register. Okay. No need to take any license to use private IP. Private IP, you can use it, I can use it, anyone can use it. Simple. Public IP is not like that. Public IPs are unique, more unique. Okay, if I'm using one public IP, same public IP cannot be used in by entire world. Okay, I got some 5 public IP address for my 5 servers. So these public IP addresses not given to anyone in this world again. That's why we have to register the public IP. Okay, it's a public IP address will be registered and paid also. That is just a paying. So registration is also. So these are the private IP address, non-bootable. We can't access internet with the private IP. Guys, understand public and private IP. I will wait for some time to your response. Next time no response means I will close the class. No problem. You can preparation. You do all these preparations for today at least, because I'm also not feeling well. My worrying is only about topic is complete or not. It's getting delayed. Okay, nothing. Just I will complete this part. Okay, this part only. Then we'll leave. Nothing, no response. Nothing. Okay, so we are able to communicate outside of the network, right? We are accessing gmail.com, facebook.com, youtube.com. Okay, and also in organization, so you have a certain server, other people want to access, but it is private IP is given, but how other people can able to access, because there is a technique called a NAT and PAT technique, network address translation, port address translation, network address translation, port address translation. Okay, network address translation, port address translation. What is this network address translation means? It translate your private IP to, means not exactly say private IP, internal IP, inside IP to outside. It do mapping, means inside one kind of IP address, other different IP address is there. Okay, when you are communicating outside of your network, it communicate with that net IP address now. When you are communicating from outside,
Encryption and decryption method.
yeah. Vaishnavi, tell me again.
So it uses the encryption and decryption method
No,
to
no, no.
communicate.
Yeah, at least one person is responded. Finally, it's not a encryption and decryption. Very good. So then it is simple mapping only. It's in the router. Okay, inside your router, generally, what they will do it. So I have a different servers are there. For example, server are a systems. Those systems need to connect public network. So what I will do it. For example, this is a some simple Y10 series is because it's a smaller number. Okay. Very good. Now I'm getting little energy now. And I purchase some public IP addresses. So what I will do, so when these are communicating outside of the network, it communicate with a different public IP. So inside in this router, I do some NAT translations. So if 10.0.0.11, so when it is going outside of my network to communicate public network, so assign this public IP to it. Just for example, okay, just for example, if 10 dot this 12 want to communicate outside, then try to communicate with this IP address to outside. Just for understanding and writing like this. Okay, so this is called a NAT translations. It means inside in your private, these systems are communicate with the private only. These systems are communicate with the private only inside of the system. They are connected, they are communicating each other with their private IP only inside in a private. They'll communicate with this private IP addresses only. But for example, this system want to communicate outside. Up to here, it is 10.0.0.11 only. But it is coming out with a 200.10.0.11. So for outside internet, they know your public IP, not your private. When you are accessing google.com, facebook.com, youtube.com, right? I'm trying to ping to google.com. So then you will know google.com IP address. Okay, when I'm pinging, we got their IP address. See, 142, it's a private IP. Okay, sorry, it's a public IP. We know it's public IP, but we don't know what is inside internal IP. We don't know. We know only it's public IP. Even google.com knows your public IP, not a private IP. Okay. So when you are communicating, you will communicate with the public IP only, not with the your private IP. It is translated. Again, someone trying to access your system, they know your public IP, so then they will come to your internet through, they reach up to here with your public IP. Again, it is retranslate to the 10.0.0.11, so then they will access to your system. For example, you are arranged that type of accesses. You're like a google.com. So internally, maybe it is a private. We don't know which private it is, but we know they're public. So from public, we are accessing. So again, it will convert. Again, it will map to the private, and private access you will get private from there. So internally, private network. Outside, when you are communicating, we need a public. Okay, this is called a network address translation. It maps inside of IP address to outside of IP address, different IP address. It mapping inside one IP address to offer outside different IP. Okay. We use this technique mainly in the public and private communication. NAT techniques generally used in a public to private communication or private to public communication. So inside private, outside public communication. This is NAT. Not only that, guys, NAT also used in different like a different private to private also we use NAT. But generally, in general, I'm telling NAT mainly used for private to public communication. Understand NAT? NAT translations.
Yes, sir.
Very good. Okay. So in a NAT, there is a one column that is called a one-to-one type. One-to-one. It means I have 6 devices, but I have only 3 public IP address. I'm up to 3 private. Only these 3 can able to communicate. What about remaining? They can't communicate outside, right? So if all 6 want to communicate outside means I got a 6 public IP address. Again, I told public is paid type. You have to pay for use of public IP address. You have to register which public range you want to use it and what is the purpose, how many public IP address you require. You have to give some application to the IANA regional center. You can go to that IANA regional center. Okay, so you have to go to the regional Indian regional centers also there. Okay, but be careful with these sites also. Why? Because maybe there is a possibility of duplicate site also there. Okay, APNIC. This is our our India and countries are there, no? India plus countries are there. APNIC countries. Asia specific some name is there. Asia specific region is APNIC. Okay, Asia specific region. This is our region. So there you can APNIC in that one again. India registration also separate. India registration is also. But don't try all these websites because now you can open it, you can read it, information center. Not our AP, APNIC kind of stuff, guys. Don't think like that. Andhra Pradesh, unique center, it's not like, okay. So you can get an IP address, make a payment like that. See, there's, okay. We don't do it in generally ourselves, okay. Organizations, they need a public IP to communicate, they will do it. For us, our ISP is there, ISP will take care of that public IP related. Thing is, in a NAT, it is one-to-one type, means 10 private means 10 public is required. 50 private means 50 public is required. See, in our home, we have a lot of devices, right? In our home, if you take at least small home, it is like you are having a mobile phone, laptops are there, desktops are there, tablets are there, TVs are there, right? At least 5 to 6 devices, 5 to 10 devices, definitely range is there. Minimum is 5, 10 is a maximum. Minimum in between 5 to 10 devices are in a home itself. So think like that, you required at least to 5 to 10 public IP address, you have to pay for it. Okay. So that is very difficult. Why? Because of in class it's 250 for devices. And again, public IP 10 IP address you require. 10 IP address you can't get it. So you will get around 14, around 14 IP addresses you have to get it. 14 IP addresses are there. For 14 IP address you have to pay. Or 6 IP address you will get it. Yeah, that for that one you have to pay. Okay. We can't do it now, so that's a different point. So what is this technique? This next technique is we are overloading all this private IP address on single public only. What it is? We are trying to overload all private IP address to single public IP only. So what is this? Is it called a NAT overload? NAT is different, NAT overload is different part. It is called a PAT, port address translation. NAT overload or a PAT, port address translation. NAT overload is also called as NAT PAT. What it is happen? Multiple private IP address mapped to single public IP. Multiple private IP addresses mapped to single private IP. Generally, for home or offices purpose, we use this technique. Small office, home office purpose, we use these PAT techniques because we want access internet. From internet, our device is not required to access them. I do not have any server in my organization, or maybe I don't have any servers or storage devices are not required to be accessed from public. Okay, I should access outside. I want to go outside. I don't want anybody to come directly to my inside. Okay. So that is this part. It is PAT, port address translation. So what happened? I have a multiple. Okay. So what I'm doing is instead of mapping one by one IP address to the public, so what I'm done it is I map to everything into the single private IP address only. Okay. So I'm mapping everyone into 200 that, 100 that, 1 that, like this. Okay. This is my public IP and this is private IP. For every system, it's a public IP only for every system. For all the system, this is the public IP. One public IP for all the system. But how it is managed? So when 11 is communicating outside, randomly it put some mapping on it. Okay, some mapping 1, 2, 3. Okay, some port mapping it will do. So here also 1, 2, 3, 4. Here also same thing like this 1, 2, 3, 5. Some port mapping. or maybe default ports also they can use it. Okay. For example, port number 80 like that also they can use it. Okay. So it's like that only it is. When these devices are communicating outside, use this technique. Finally, I done. See? Oh, shit. Okay. Something is happening. Already I'm in a little. Oh, shit. Okay. That entire table is got gone. So, okay, guys, that is a PAT, port address translation. PAT, port address translation means it is map your multiple private IP address into single public IP address with the help of port mapping technique with a single public IP. And point is, your PAT is more secure. You don't require any VPN kind of stuff, guys. The thing is, I'm using my one private. So look at here, IP config. This is my private IP. See, it's a private IP, 170.16. It's a private IP. Okay, that is my private, within the private. From public, from your system, you can't access my system with my private IP. With my private IP, you can't access. That's a private IP. Okay, but still I can able to access through public. I connected to public, so you are also connected to public. We are communicating each other. So how it is possible? Because of PAT technique, port address translation. Okay, this port address translation means the public IP. Even I don't purchase it. Only thing is ISP is taking care of it. The ISP is taking care of my public IP address communication. Not only that IP is not only for my system, to multiple systems, maybe within my organization or outside of my organization also. So that public IP addresses are very limited. So they are mapped to with a different port mapping and they are mapping to my network. So that's a different kind of stuff. What we will do, check it if in case if you have a Wi-Fi router, if you have a one any Wi-Fi router, Airtel, ACT, Geo, anything. Okay, make sure 2, 3 devices are connected to same Wi-Fi router, mobile phone, laptop, tablet, like that. Okay, so make sure this 2, 3 devices are connected to same Wi-Fi and open the Chrome browser. Type what is my IP address like this. Okay, I don't enter what is my IP address. Just what is my IP address. Address is enough. VPN is not required. Okay, what is my IP address? So check it from your mobile phone, which is connected to same Wi-Fi as your laptop. Okay, from there also. So most of the time, both are same public IP. So your laptop and your mobile phone showing same public IP address only. So what is that? Because of it is so port address translation. Even someone is trying to reach your system with your public IP or private IP, so they won't come to your system directly until unless you open something which is related to their site or application. For example, you download torrents. Through torrents, some people can able to enter into your system because you are connected to their server. From their server, you can able they will enter into you. Certain kind of websites, most of the website having advertisements. If you click on the picture also, it will show some other advertisement, some redirections. Okay, yes or no kind of stuff. There are very dangerous when you are doing it. Mostly these illegal websites, pornographic websites, or torrent related website. So, some people are getting these apps, movie apps are there. Okay. So all we don't know all apps related genuinity. Even I'm not giving any guarantee, no guarantee kind of stuff. But thing is, sometimes you use something from which is not a genuine one, mostly. Okay. So when you click on it, so automatically other person can able to enter it. Not with your MAC address, not with your private IP, not with your public IP. Okay. Okay. Generally, if you don't touch such a thing, you are secure network. If you are touching something, you are become unsecure automatically. You download different applications from torrents, third-party websites, illegal websites. Illegal means not a genuine website, duplicate websites. Okay. So the some different content websites. It's what happened. So you click on it, and so I will give you a simple example. People send some WhatsApp messages. Okay, Amazon. Amazon Wheel Challenge. Wheel of Fortune, tiny link. Okay, Amazon Wheel of Fortune, tiny link is the small link only there. So they will send roll this wheel. So then you will gain some gift kind of stuff. So for that rolling, they won't ask you any kind of password or username password. They don't ask you anything. It opens in the web browser only itself first. Okay, you open the tiny link, you open this Wheel of Fortune, you run it, it will show you on something iPhone and get login to your redirected to your Amazon. So from Amazon, it will steal everything. Sir. Okay. So point is when you're touching that link, okay, directed to your Amazon app, and they will try to look into your Amazon app content information, your username, password, saved cards information, payment details, okay, your order, general order informations, your addresses. Okay. So there is a possibility. So that's what I'm trying to say is, guys, so don't trust this kind of VPN kind of era. Now it is everybody is starting VPN. You're already in the secure network itself. No one can able to hack your system with your private or public or your MAC address. Only thing is don't touch any kind of such a websites or applications until unless that's your feedback. Okay, guys, understand NAT and PAT and private IP address.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
This part is also there. How to assign IP address APIPA. So simple to know. Already you know how to assign IP address. So one is so every device must have an IP address required to communicate in the network. Assign an IP address. You can assign IP address manually or automatically. You can assign. If you assign an IP address manually, so that is sticky IP address. It's a static one. Static IP addresses only we can change manually. For example, for my laptop, assign IP address, manually assign IP address. Okay. So I went to my home, for example, again, I have to change IP address according to my home network. Okay. I went to some other office or maybe some other network I got. Again, I have to change according to their network. Okay, manual. If you stick into the manual configuration means every time I change my network, I have to change my IP address according to it. So it's a static IP. It's a manually configured IP address called static. Static IP address won't change automatically. Mainly, manual IP addresses will be assigned to a things like printers. We can assign manually. Okay, big sticker because I don't want to change its IP. No, IP address won't be changed automatically. Okay, or IP address for servers mainly. Okay, for servers, storage devices, mainly that entire server kind of stuff. Different servers we are using. For servers, mostly we use for a manual IP address, printers, manual IP addresses only. Okay, because same IP they should have always. So that is why we are configured manually. And automatic IP address. Automatically configured IP address, we call it as a dynamic IP address. What is this dynamic IP address? This dynamic IP address. So as I said, no, so when I came to this office morning, I will get an IP address from my DHCP server, Office DHCP server. Okay, I got an IP address, I got connected, I got IP address, I'm communicating. I went to my home again. So I shut down system here. I went to my home. I open my laptop. I will get an IP address according to my home network, according to my home router. So I will get an IP address from that DHCP server. I will get it. It is automatically changing IP address. When I change my network, automatically IP address will be changed. Okay. So this is because of automatic. Automatic means dynamic IP address. Generally, for our regular systems, laptops, desktops, okay, we use this dynamic only. Most of our devices dynamically assigned. So how to assign? Two ways are there. One is go to the control panel. Not two ways, only one way only. But we're going to one place. Is a two different ways you can go. Go to the control panel. You can find network and sharing center from here. Also, you can go through like this. Okay, network and internet, network and sharing center, any which ways you can go. Okay, and change adapter settings. It opens the network connections window. So you can see your adapter and you can change the IP address according to you. Okay. And another way of opening, same thing only. Another way of opening is go to run, put a ncpa.cpl. Okay, ncpa, same window, it will open. Next, check the IP address first. See, IP address DHCP enabled now means this is an IP address is configured manually. So you can see no other details, no DHCP server details are not there. DHCP enabled now means IP address is configured. And if you see these adapters, IP address, see, DHCP enabled yes means these IP address are configured by this DHCP server. First, I will show manual configuration. Go to the adapter, just to show guys only. Go to the properties and IPv4, select IPv4 properties. You want to see again? We'll see properties. First of all, either right click or double click, or directly you can go to properties also, but better always go to status or double click this details. Check the IP address first, then click on the properties. In this one, see IPv4, Internet Protocol version 4, TCP/IP IPv4 properties. Use following IP address means manual configuration. You got to get an IP address from DHCP server, select the first option. Obtain IP address automatically. It means you are telling to this adapter, try to get an IP address from DHCP server. Find yourself, there is a DHCP server. Find yourself a DHCP server, get an IP address from it. Okay. So that is obtain IP address automatically. Second, one option is use following IP address. Means you want to assign IP address manually. So I want to assign some IP address manually to this PC. Just I'm assigning IP address manually to all the things like a default gateway, default DNS server, like this. Okay. So manually I configured an IP address. So look at the details. See, DHCP enabled now means IP address. I got it manually from manually. Use following IP address. If you see, there is no DHCP server address. No DHCP server. It is a DHCP enabled now. DHCP no address. It is IP address, subnet mask, default gateway, DNS. This is manually configured IP address. Okay, guys, understand how to configure manually?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
This is, I'm not configuring anything. For this adapter, already it is my main adapter. It is already configured. One. Okay. Just to we'll see the option properties. Because these adapters are not connected to any DHCP. This is the only one connected. Okay. See, this option is obtained IP address automatically. Obtained DNS server automatically. So this the configuration is there already inside. Okay. So what I'm doing is checking once again to DHCP enable yes means this is an IP address I received from this DHCP server. This IP address I got it from this DHCP. So check the IP address, check other things like a subnet mask, default gateway, DNS server address, and DHCP server, which is given this IP address. So this is how to configure. Obtained IP address automatically means get an IP address from DHCP. Use following means manual configuration. Okay, when you are checking IP address, DHCP enable yes means IP address is configured by DHCP server. No means IP address configured manually. So understand, guys, IP address configuration.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Last point, I will tell this point and we'll take a break. Let's see. Automatic private IP address. Automatic private IP address. So I have an adapter. What I said to this adapter. So I actually configured manual IP. So I said obtained IP address automatically. I said obtained IP address and I changed it to manual to automatic. So what this adapter has to do? This adapter has to try to find a DHCP server and get an IP address from DHCP server. Okay, as already I told, this is a virtual adapter, not connected to any DHCP server. Okay, so what happened? So when I'm checking an IP address here, see, DHCP enable is obtained IP address automatically. DHCP enabled, yes. But see this IP address showing 169.254 something dot something. And there is subnet mask class B. No default gateway, no DNS server. Okay. But where is DHCP server? If you got IP address from DHCP server, definitely DHCP server IP address will show, right? It's not showing that one. And it is showing it's DHCP enabled. And you got a 169.254. And it is showing auto configuration IP address. if you see in this configuration, so obtained IP address automatically. If you fail to get an IP address, then you can use this alternate configuration. See, if I put a following means this tab is disappear. If I select this option means this tab is appears. It means first try to get IP address from DHCP. If you are failed to get an IP address from DHCP server, use the alternate configuration. It is option is selected automatic private IP address. Automatic A, private P, IP A address. Okay. So if you are failed to get an IP address from DHCP, use the automatic private IP address range. Or you can use some configuration. You can specify the configuration or automatic configuration. Again, what it is? If your system is unable to get IP address or fail to get an IP address from DHCP server, the system itself assign an IP address. System itself assign an IP address from APIPA range. The APIPA range is 169.254.0.1 to 169.255.255.254. This is a APIPA range, automatic private IP range. In a IPv6 link local IP address is there. Link local is valid within the means one IPv6 configuration is commonly all systems are having link local plus your private or public IP address is there. Two IP addresses are there in the one single adapter location. One is private IP and public, both are there, both are existing. Okay. In our IPv4 is not like that. IPv4, either you should get IP address from DHCP or system will configure some random IP in the range of 169.254. Okay. This is the APIPA, automatic private IP address. In case you fail to get an IP address from DHCP server, system will configure IP address from this range based on your MAC address, of course. Okay. So this is APIPA. When you see DHCP enable S and automatic configure IP address 169.254, it means you got APIPA. It means your system not get the IP address from DHCP server. From DHCP server. It's an error. So what you have to do? Check the DHCP server. Where is your DHCP? Your router means router or separate DHCP server means there is separate DHCP server. See, services are running or not. Enough IP addresses are there or not. Okay, some blockage is there means some deny permissions are there. Okay, deny list is also there. So you have to find out at DHCP side first, then come to your client side. At client side, you got right now after DHCP is okay. Client side it is working good. If not working, just disable and enable that adapter. Right click on the adapter, disable it first, then enable it. Of course, you won't get anything because there is no really there is no DHCPs connected here. Okay. So of course, there is some thing is there, but still you can use it. Okay, next disable or enable the adapter. One more command is there that is called in command prompt. Put a ipconfig space / release ipconfig space / vendor. So this is command is very important to commands. Guys, in case you got APIPA, maybe it's because of DHCP related problem. So you go to DHCP server, maybe it is your Wi-Fi router or maybe a separate server. You try to find what is the issue with the DHCP. You try to restart the DHCP services. Okay. You check the ranges. So finally, once issue is resolved, your system should get automatically update with the new IP from DHCP. Still, it is showing APIPA. So what you have to do, either disable, enable the adapter or put a command ipconfig space / release. This release command will remove the automatic configured IP addresses automatically, whether it is system itself or DHCP. So the automatic configured IP address will be removed from all your adapters. Renew means again it will try to get a new IP from DHCP. Release means flushing of IP address, dynamically configured IP address, old IP address. Renew means try to get a new IP address from DHCP. Okay. Sometimes you change network. For example, I came here, I got some IP address. I went to my home, or maybe I went to some other room. Okay, different network it is. My system not updating with the new IP. Network is changed, but IP is not updating. Then also we can do like this: IP config /release to remove the old configured dynamic IP address, and for renew to get a new IP address from DHCP. That's why these two are convention. Okay. This is part of your IP address, guys. So there is a simple YSA model and port number. TCP IP model is there. After break, so I will take almost like a 1 hour time to complete that one. Okay. Back at 12. 12:05, 10 minutes, take a break, and we'll start in a 10 minutes. 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes. Okay, take break. Okay, we'll complete that part.